Alright, so this is something that I've wanted to make a video on for a while. This is the new B10 Audi design, and I'm not a fan of it. So I know that a lot of people don't like this. You know, people say they hate the new BMW style door handles, all this. First, I'm going to go over the interior. That's the most important part of a car to me. That's where you spend your time driving. That's where you are in the car all the time. So this is the A5, not the S5. I would be more interested in the S5 personally, just because I like the S cars more. But first off, the seats themselves do not look bad. They look pretty similar to what we had already. Maybe a little bit more like, I guess, separated, because I think that the sport seats in the previous gen S cars did not have this like adjustable headrest. It was just one piece. But yeah, that the seats look decent. I'll give them that. But then we go into the interior, and my first issue comes from, I don't think I can zoom in here. This display right here just looks awful. I hate how they like did the same thing that the Mustang did and combined the two. I have been driving a 2023 Q5 for a while now, and before that, 2020 Q5. I really, really like how that car does, those two cars do, the separated displays. I like how my car, the Q5, has the like the gauge cluster display, the digital display, in the little hood, right? But this, like, the passenger can see that really easily, which personally I don't like when the passenger is just always looking at the display. It just makes it easier for the passenger to see that. It's just annoying. And then this display here, I feel like them making it one display just makes it look really bad. It makes it look like a Kia, a Hyundai, whatever, you know? I don't like that. That's just my personal opinion. Then the passenger side screen, I don't get this either because one, I'm saying this from experience, but I'm pretty sure most people would agree with me. No driver wants to listen to their passenger's audio. Is it really worth putting in a whole like extra display for that? It just doesn't make sense to me why this needs to be in a car. It feels gimmicky. It feels like something that's definitely not going to be in future generations. And I know that Porsche has been doing this too, and I just think it's stupid. Like I get it. It's cool that, it can automatically give a privacy filter when the car starts actually moving. But like, why would the passenger use this? It's just going to have the passenger kind of like leaned over in the seat, and I'm pretty sure that's kind of bad for safety as well. But next up, this display, the OS looks pretty bad. It looks kind of similar to what I have, but just a little bit different to the point where it might be a little annoying to use. I don't like the bigger display. I think that the last display size was just about perfect. I'll get to the wheel later, but one major annoyance that I have is this glossy plastic. I got my Q5 like kind of wrapped over in PPF, stealth PPF, where the glossy plastic was. That was the best thing that I've done to the car to this day, getting that garbage wrapped over, and it looks amazing. I don't know why Audi and Volkswagen Group love sticking with this just absolutely ugly glossy plastic. It looks horrible. There's no reason to stick with the glossy plastic. It doesn't make it look more premium. Just put carbon fiber, put wood, put matte plastic. They had it right with like the last gen Q5, the one before they got the touchscreen. Now they're going back. Then why are the cup holders here? Because with the cup holders like placed here, kind of central, it means the passenger gets one cup holder and the driver gets one cup holder. With it off to the side, that's like you got to kind of decide which is which, and then it's a little bit more of a reach for the driver than the passenger. It's a small thing, but it doesn't make sense. Just put it where it used to be. There's no problems there. Then the shifter, I like to have a shifter that I can kind of, grab. Yeah, you can't do that. That's a big complaint of mine in the new Porsches. The shifter is just awful. I really do not like Porsche's new shifter. The Volkswagen shifters, they're about the same as Audi's. So I've kind of, expected this, but come on, B9 had the best shifter design. B8.5 on the S line, or the S models, I mean, had a great shifter. Not really the non-S models. I didn't like the design of that. But it's just a big annoyance, just to have some downgrade there. Now, the wheel. So I've been driving the ID4 a little bit too, alongside the Q5. I don't hate the wheel. I don't hate the touch controls. But with that said, I like the steering wheel in my Q5 a lot more because, it's just physical. It's a little bit nicer to use. It feels more premium. Touch controls just don't feel as premium. Harder to turn the volume up without a knob, harder to skip tracks and all. Just doesn't make sense to me. But that's not my main concern, even though I think that Audi's had the perfect steering wheel controls since like 2012. Then they just go and throw them away for this? Why? Why is there a flat top? I like flat bottom steering wheels. I like driving cars with a flat bottom steering wheel. Flat top steering wheel? I don't really think that works. I think that it kind of breaks symmetry a lot because if you look, flat bottom like just goes from rounded to flat just like that. This kind of curves into a flat top. So it kind of breaks symmetry. Then why would you want a flat top? What benefits does it give you? A little bit more clearance to the windshield, which nobody really asked for. It just doesn't make sense. So that's kind of annoying. Then you got the 2D logo, which I don't hate that. I'd rather have a 3D logo, but that's kind of whatever to me. So the interior, I think, is a dumpster fire. You have more USB-Cs now, I guess. Probably about the same storage. Oh, but more glossy plastic on the door window switches. But next, I'm gonna go over the outside. So this is the A5, and already I have a complaint. They got rid of the A4. I was trying to plan to have my next car be an A4, but now they got rid of the A4. And I've driven, older A5s. They're nice, but just not like the S4s and A4s. So here's the front end. I don't like how the hood is noticeably different from the front like bumper. And I get it, it's for crash protection, so you don't have to replace the hood as often, but it makes it look ugly, in my opinion. So you get the front end, which there's this very visible seam. Let me see if they have a better photo. It's just this very visible seam, which I don't get why someone would really want to have their hood like visibly away from their bumper. It makes sense on some cars, but not on Audi when they've had that hood that just it blends in so well. And then another like annoyance is this like 3D grill that they've had kind of looks 2D now along with the logo. That's been a big complaint from people. The logo I think is kind of goofy now. I replaced the silver logo with the black logo on my Q5 and I've liked that. The grill could go down further, but I've a few of my friends say they don't like how low the Audi's grills go, but I like it personally. And next, the door handles. I think that Audi's had the perfect door handles, but now they're going to, I'm assuming this is going to be pretty much the same as the Volkswagen ID4s, which they're fine, but it just worked better before. I'm pretty sure that the old door handles would just work better. This weird like dip that they have in the, I guess, doors, I don't think that looks particularly amazing though. I don't hate the curvature of the car. It looks kind of similar to what it did before. These rims look weird. I don't think I'd do that. They also have this light bar going across now, which I don't hate. I get it, it's a nice design trend that a lot of cars like to do. I'm not opposed to change, by the way. I just feel like there's a lot of things that Audi went backwards on. So here's the A5's trunk. This is exactly the same as it was before. Exactly the same. Same light placement, same bag hooks, nothing changed there, so that's perfect. And what are these new interior door handles? Those just look weird. And then what is this like weird cloth stuff? I don't get that either. Maybe you'll be able to option that with carbon fiber. I don't know. Also, another weird thing, the vents look weirdly placed. I don't know what's up with that. They just look weirdly placed. So here's the front end, a closer look. I guess there's going to be adaptive cruise control sensors in there and whatnot. Lights look cool though. I will admit that. They do look really cool. Here's the engine. I think the A5 is going to have a 4-liter and the S5 is going to have the a slightly upgraded now, I believe, V6 engine with, I think the turbochargers is supposed to be a little bit more powerful. Could be wrong there. Nice red painted brake calipers. That's on the A5, so maybe that's going to be standard on the A5 without the S-Line package. Probably not. It actually has model designation there, which I like. Audi logo, or Audi text. I like that. Here's a closer look at the door handles. They don't look as bad close up. Here's a side profile of the car. It looks nice, but it looks like an e-tron, and I feel like they should really try to separate the e-tron from their normal gas-powered lineup. And yeah, here is the rear end of the car. It doesn't look bad actually. It's kind of nice. Taillights look a little odd. but it's not bad. I think this car has a lot of potential to look great. It's just one, the interior is awful. Two, the exterior could definitely change for the better. And three, they need to they need to fix that goofy steering wheel. A lot of people have been complaining about this B10. I planned on making a video on this about a month and a half, 2 months ago. I just didn't get around to it, didn't feel like editing that. They have since then introduced the B10 Q5. And yes, the Q series, or the Q5, I should say, not the Q3, not the Q7, is on the B line. So, yeah, the Q5 is B10. This, I don't know. This does not look as bad. The heads up, or not heads up, the digital gauge cluster. OS still looks weird, probably Android based. There we have the weird side passenger display, which you can probably option out. Knowing Volkswagen Group, it's going to be an option. When I was recording, I didn't see this comment, but this guy, DCSQ5, says, first outward impression, too much piano black interior appointments. The door pulls are way too wide and awkward, and lastly, the exterior has melted into genericness. I hope seeing one in steel helps change my mind. Helps change my mind. Whatever. It seems like this person wants to like the new Q5. Obviously, this person has an SQ5, likes the SQ5 something because SQ5 is in the username. I feel like this guy's comment really captures what everyone's thinking about B10, just hoping that it looks better in person. Even though this guy worded that a little bit oddly, he's right. The design isn't awful, but I still think that the grille looks weird. The side profile of this car looks a lot better than the A5 in my opinion. And I don't hate the Q5 that much, the new Q5. I think it looks kind of nice. It looks like they kept the same turn signal stock and all. The wheel is slightly different than Volkswagen's, but I'm pretty much guaranteeing it'll work the same. It just looks a little bit too complicated for a lot of people too. It's really easy to understand Audi's current steering wheel setup. There we have the weird flat top, flat bottom wheel. I just don't get it. It does not look quality to me. Watch people get these new Audis and put the old steering wheel in them because the new steering wheel is that bad. The aluminum pedal caps are going to be maybe stock or standard now. I put the aluminum pedal caps on my Q5 after the fact. There's that weird like side thing. I have no clue what that's about. I think the lighting panel's there too, because I can't see lighting panel anywhere else. Here's the rear, looks the same, or at least in the trunk. They're all gonna have the Audi Sport badge now for no apparent reason, but there's gonna be an S model designation now. I absolutely hate that. I think it's so stupid. And by the way, apparently there's going to be two Q5s for 2025. The B10 and the, I guess, B9, B9.5. This looks great. I can't really say the same about the next one, so I guess there's going to be a 2025 and a half. But my theory here, 25 is probably in Europe by now. It's October 21st as of recording this, so I'm assuming that the B10 generation is coming to the US for 26. So if you want to get B9, B9 and a half, whatever, Q5, S4, A4, A5, you might want to do it like right now. It does not look like you're going to be able to get a B9 generation car next year at the same time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this long video, but goodbye.